Hi, boys and girls. I'm going to show you where you can find your assignment for 3.8 Social Studies, which is going to be a review and a project-based assessment / quiz. So to start, you're going to go to your Social Studies course, and I'll go over how you're going to complete both parts of this assignment. We're looking under the HCS Supplemental Resources, Module 3 Federal Expansion, and we're looking at 3.8 Show What You Know. And you'll notice that there are two parts to this assignment. There's the Lesson 3.8 Creation Project, and there's the 3.8 Module 3 Checkup. You're going to be doing both of these assignments. So we're going to look at both of them. We're going to start by looking at the Lesson 3.8 Creation Project. I'm going to open that one up first. So for this assignment, you have some options. So it says, now it's time to have fun showing what you know. Step 1, you're going to print the project rubric to guide your work. Your teacher will use this rubric to score your project. So let me show you where the project rubric is. It's all the way at the bottom here, Creation Project Rubric, and I already have it pulled up right here. So this is the rubric I'm going to be using as I grade your projects. So let's just kind of take a quick look at the different criteria here. Your project presents information that is clear and accurate. What this means is your project have accurate information. Is it clear? Is it easy to understand? That's going to show me that you understand the content that we've learned. Social studies understanding. Does your project demonstrate student understanding of the time period, concepts, and topics? So in your project, I need to see that you understand the time period that we've focused on, the concepts that happen, the topics that we've covered. Your presentation, is the project neat? Is it organized? Is it easy to understand? Completion, do you have all the parts completed? And we'll look at the different parts for each project. And creativity, does your project demonstrate creativity? Did you put time into it? Did you put effort into it? Did you put a lot of thought into it? So this is what I'm going to be looking at as I grade your projects. So let's take a look at your options. So I'm going to go back to the lesson. Okay, so we just took a look at the project rubric for step 1. Step 2, you're going to select one of the projects below to complete. Please don't complete both of these unless you have extra time and you really, really want to. But you also do have a quiz that goes along with this. So you're only going to select one of these projects. So let's take a look at your options. Project 1, it says you are a news reporter during World War I. Decide if you are writing for the Allies or the Central Power newspaper. Write a news story telling about the causes of and the events leading to World War I. Include the following requirements. The date of your news story. So remember, you're writing about World War I. Put yourself in that time period. So your date should come from World War I. The date of your news story should come from that time period. Pretend that you're living during that time period. Another requirement is a brief description of yourself as the news reporter. You need to reference whether you're writing for the Central Power newspaper or the Ally newspaper. So make sure that at the beginning, it would be good to have this at the beginning. Just a quick description of yourself, who you are, what side of the war you're on, what side of the war you're writing about, whether it be the Ally powers or the Central Powers. Include a brief description of at least 3 causes or events that led to the war. So within your news story, you're going to describe what are some of the causes that happened that led to the war, or what events led to the war. And you're going to give at least 3 causes or events, okay? And then you're going to, the last requirement is to tell how each cause or event affected people's lives during that time. So you've got your 3 causes or events, and then how did each of those causes or events impact people's lives? So my recommendation is if you choose Project 1 is to go back and review World War I. Go back and look at what were the causes, what were the events that led up to the war happening, and then how did those causes or events impact people's lives that were living during that time. Okay, so that's Project 1 with all the requirements. Project 2, so if you're not going to do Project 1, then you would choose Project 2. You're using what you have learned in this unit, and you can use Google Slides. You can use Keynote, which is an app on your iPads. You can use PowerPoint or any other presentation tool to create your own presentation. You could even do a video if you wanted about federal expansion. Now, this whole unit was called Federal Expansion. So you're creating a presentation about the entire unit. And the presentation would be something that could be used to teach another student. So you want to make sure you have all the different parts of this unit. And that's what this next sentence says. It says, be sure to include information about each of the big concepts covered in this unit. And they are right here for you. World War I, Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, Harlem Renaissance, the Great Depression, and the New Deal. And I'm not sure if I said the Great Migration, but those are the big concepts that you guys are going to focus on if you choose Project 2. And you're going to create a presentation that has a little bit about each of these different concepts that happened during this time period of the federal expansion. All right, so whether you choose to do a Google Slide presentation, whether you choose to do a video or a PowerPoint, make sure that you hit each of those big concepts and make sure it's a presentation that you could use to teach another student. So think about how you want to learn. You like pictures, you like videos, you like to have the details of what happened. So make sure you include those things in your presentation. Okay, so those are your two options, Project 1 or Project 2. You select one. Step 3, look at the creation project rubric to be sure that you followed all the directions. Again, that rubric tells you all the different criteria that you need to have in order to get a good grade on this assignment. Step 4, you're going to upload the project in this submission area. So on your screen, you'll have a blue plus button where you can attach your work. Now, this is part 1 of 3.8. If I go back, there's also a second part to 3.8, lesson 3.8. We just looked at the creation project piece of 3.8, but you also have a checkup piece here that goes along with 3.8. So I'm going to click on this, and this is a quiz. You can see by the icon here, the page icon with the check boxes and the check mark. That tells us it's a quiz. And right here, it says it's time for a quick checkup to show what you've learned while working on Module 3. You're going to read each question carefully and select the best answer. And to start the quiz, you're going to hit that green start button right here, and it'll pull up the quiz. It's a multiple choice quiz. Okay, so don't forget to do 3.8 Module 3 checkup along with the creation project. All right, so those are the two assignments for 3.8. Good luck, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.